like a window, no window, look at the videos, say myself, that could have been you.
Because they're like,
this is Sanya On-Air.
And everybody on the East Coast calls me Don. I'm like, what is Don?
My mom thought I was on Long Island, but I was at Howard Homecoming.
Ready?
Turn it up.
Let's go. Welcome, everyone. You are now tuned into another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air. I'm your host, SanyaHudson Payne. And how do I start off each and every single show? You guessed it. I have another great show for you. So coming up in just a few short moments, I have the super talented actor, Christopher Martin. Now, I always tell you, you may not know these actors by their name, child, but once I tell you about their credits, you're like, oh my goodness, I know who they are. So Christopher Martin, but wait a minute. I got to do a few quick housekeeping rules. Make sure that you subscribe. Subscribe to every Sanya On-Air streaming platform. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a little button next to the subscribe button. It looks like a bell. That's the notification button. Make sure that you hit the notification button so that every time I upload an all-new Sanya On-Air show up on YouTube, you'll be the first ones to know. You can also catch Sanya On-Air streaming across Amazon Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, Sanya On-Air is there. So just make sure that you subscribe to all of this celebrity content. Because remember, the goal of this show is to unpack celebrity pivotal moments and their milestones. You see them on television, you watch their films, you listen to their music, you might even wear their makeup, but you don't even know who they are, how they got to where they currently are. So getting back to today's guest, Christopher Martin. I got the show Martin on my head, on my brain, I'm telling you. Well, anyway, Christopher Martin, he's an amazing actor, and he is going to be starring in an upcoming film that's going to be shown on Bounce TV. How many of you have been watching Bounce TV? I just kind of stumbled across Bounce TV maybe a few months ago. If you're looking for, let's say, old school content, but new content that's really for the culture, then Bounce TV is the platform that you should be going to. I don't know why a lot of people don't know about Bounce TV, but it's there. It is really, really there. You can find some amazing things from like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, up until current. Like I told you, Martin will be on a new film on Bounce TV, and he is starring opposite B.Simone. How many of you don't know B.Simone, the comedian B.Simone, who is on Nick Cannon's, what is it called? Wild 'N Out. And then also comedian and actress Kim Coles. So he plays DJ Gravy. That's a funny name for a DJ. I wonder, what does he like, gravy? Something, I don't know. But also, you may know him. He also played Marsai Martin. You know Marsai Martin from Blackish. He played her mother on the hit film Little, the Will Packer film with Issa and Regina Hall. Well, he also starred in that film. So now that I'm telling you about his credits, and he also has an upcoming film opposite Ne-Yo and Serayah. That is going to be a Christmas film that is going to be on BET. So you're really going to get to know who Christopher is after this conversation so that you can support all of his amazing television shows, all of his amazing films. He lives in Atlanta. He DJs. I wonder if he's out in those streets in Atlanta, because he hosts a lot of parties, a lot of silent parties. I've never been to a silent party. Who's been to a silent party? I don't know. But let's just take a few quick commercial breaks, and we'll be right back with Sanya On-Air. When you think of grocery shopping, what comes to mind? Is it answering the dreaded question, what's for dinner? Or I wonder what Lizzo is eating with her fine self? With carts ranging from self-care Sunday to late night dates to Lizzo's own exclusive shoppable cart, you too can select Lizzo's favorite hand-picked treats and products. Boss up like Sanya On-Air and Lizzo and have it all delivered to your home in as fast as 1 hour via Instacart. Minimum purchase of $10 or more required. Offer valid until September 30th using the special Sanya On-Air link. Now let's get to Instacart shopping. Style is a way to say who you are without having to speak. And that's just why you need the super dope Sanya On-Air crew neck sweatshirt. Always remember, that's not your enemy, that's your hater. Shop Sanya On-Air apparel today. Welcome, everyone. You're back. I'm back too. So I hope that you enjoyed the commercial breaks. If you went to go get a snack, make sure that you purchase your Sanya On-Air apparel. The link is in the description section of this episode. Also, make sure that you shop using Instacart, using the special Sanya On-Air code. Times are changing. No one wants to stand on these long lines. Let me tell you, I went shopping the other day, right? And they have self-checkout, not only in the grocery stores anymore, but also in clothing stores. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the thievery of it all. The 5-finger discount of it all. The Pookie and the cousins and them coming with the new gear at the family reunion. Child, how you get that Versace? Because we know that you work at Hibachi. Right. Who thought of this? Who thought of, just put it in the bag? I know Fabulous had an amazing song about it, but I mean, the retailers took it literally. So how many of you like it? I mean, the lines are much shorter. That is the goal. No one wants to be standing online for Juneteenth hours. But Pookie and them, child, they are devising a scheme in the basement. They're about to hit these streets. So when you see Pookie and them rocking Versace Hashi, you know what happened. They went to one of those self-checkouts. But anyway, I digress. So remember last week I did an entertainment review on Tyler Perry's new film that's streaming on Netflix. It's called A Jasmine's Blues. And I told you that I loved it. I got more to say.
This is Sanya On-Air.
So the last celebrity Sanya On-Air show, I did an entertainment review of Tyler Perry's number one. Well, it's like number 3 now because it's a week old, but it was number 1 film, A Jasmine's Blues. And I watched it a second time, as I promised. I think I watched it a third time too. And I was able to really just notice the little nuances, like, oh, wow, that could have been done a little bit better. There's some flaws. I love Tyler Perry, but there's some flaws. But, I don't want to be the type that's going to, like nitpick everything. But there's some flaws. There's some flaws there. But I really encourage all of you to watch it. But I watched a new film. It's called Lou. It's also on Netflix. It's really, really good. I forgot the actor's name. She's the sister of Jussie Smollett. I ain't gonna say nothing about you, Jussie. But I might give me a Subway sandwich. Let me just leave it there, okay? But his sister, I forgot her name. Oh my gosh. But she stars in the film. Her daughter gets kidnapped by her husband, who is a CIA agent going rogue. And he just crazy in the head. And then the neighbor come to find out that's the CIA, who's the father's mother. And he really doesn't have any animosity towards his baby mama, but it's really towards his mother. Let me tell you what this is really about. Men and their mamas, child, all the mothering that the mothers do for their men. And then when the mothers do something wrong, the world just spirals down. They just want to murder everybody, even their own innocent child. One thing I do know, mothers will love their daughters. No, mothers will love their sons, but raise their daughters. How many of you ever heard that say? So if you want a film that really explains how mothers love their daughters, mothers love their sons, but raise, wait a minute. Let me tell you something. It's raining here in New York City. It's early. I just want to go to bed. I really want to go to bed. But watch Lou on Netflix, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Just about, just the disconnect between the mother and the son, when the son felt that the mother didn't love him enough, and then he just wants to murder everybody. It's on Netflix. It's called Lou. Go check it out, child. All right. So Christopher Martin. I just want to be like, Martin. Christopher Martin is going to be joining us in just a few short moments to talk about his upcoming film that's going to be on Bounce TV. Bounce, bounce, bounce. It's called Finding Happy. He's starring opposite B.Simone and Kim Coles. This is going to be an amazing film because anything that's on the Bounce Network, they're very intentional about their content. So you're going to find some meaningful content on Bounce TV. So he's going to be joining us in just a few short moments to unpack it all. So why don't we just bring him in? Christopher Martin. Hi, Christopher.
Well, hello there. How are you this morning, Sanya? Hey.
I'm fine. Look at you, black and punctual on time. You know, I just love it when the people on time.
That's a good thing. Changing the myth.
Yes, you know, demystify the stereotype. I love it. How are you today?
Doing super fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm amazing. It's raining here in New York City, so I'm just gonna, just try to stay warm.
Yeah,
and dry.
You know what? We down here in Atlanta, we thought we might get some of that backlash from the hurricane.
Yes.
But it was supposed to be here today, and it's like the weatherman. It's like sunny and beautiful. Like I guess it hooked and missed us, which I'm glad. So yeah.
Look at God. But prayers go out to everyone who was impacted by the recent hurricane. I think it was named Ian.
Ian, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. He seemed like a Raheem because he just he just went off.
Blazing, right? Yeah, I saw some of the pictures and video, and yeah, man, it is sad, and for the life of me, man, I just couldn't live in Florida. I grew up in Texas and would see those hurricanes like as a kid, like as a teenager, and like I'll never live in Florida. I'll visit, but we're not living there.
Christopher, I moved to Florida in about 2007. True story. 1 week after I moved there, they said, "Oh, it's going to be a hurricane. Category, I think it was 5. It was catastrophic." I lost everything except the clothing that was on my back.
Wow.
I left. I left like a hoe in church.
It only took once for that to happen. Like I'm right.
That was it for me. It was just traumatizing. But you're in Atlanta. So last night I had sort of like an Atlanta experience because there's a famous restaurant in Atlanta that's now in Brooklyn. Have you tried Slutty Vegan?
No, I have not. And just for the fact that I'm not a vegan, but have eaten vegan food. I really like the vegan burgers, the bean hamburgers. So familiar with vegan, but I'm gonna tell you why I haven't been, because the line is always around the building. Kudos to her. And she's now got a spot, like a slutty vegan bar, I think Ponce. But anyway, but I've heard great things about it, and people are still flocking to it.
Yeah.
How was it for you up there in New York?
Yeah, it was super long. I had it twice. I went there Wednesday night, and when I was driving by, I said, "Oh my gosh, it's only 10 people online." So let me wait 30 minutes, which was great. But last night, I believe I waited. No, I didn't wait because it was about 30 people online. I said, "No, I can't do this for a second time. I got to life." But Atlanta is becoming like the Mecca of film. Do you find that to be true?
The Hollywood of the South.
Yes,
indeed. It is. It leads, the industry and things being shot. Shout out to government officials or whoever who keeps that tax credit. So ideal for people to come shoot here. Film, TV, independent film, podcast, you name it. Atlanta and surrounding areas in the state of Georgia. Moved here in 2009 and have been basking in it since then. The career has climbed and grown. But, people ask me, are you going to go to New York or obviously LA? Right. And I get booked there and had some stuff happen in LA. But as far as uprooting from here, no, I'm good.
I hear you. But do you find, or do you feel that the market for actors have become oversaturated because Atlanta is like the Mecca? So a child may wake up and say, "You know what? I'm going to go on that audition. I haven't had any formal training," and then they get hired. But actors who are formally trained aren't. Has it become oversaturated?
Great. Yeah, it has become oversaturated. And I'll say this very candidly. Since I moved here in 2009, like, yeah, can just look around and be like, okay, there used to be like 6 or 7 of us for a live audition, for an in-person audition. But, the ones that still happen now, there's like 20, 30 guys who look like me. Same thing with, auditions, things that I've booked, where they've been taped auditions and, been in conversation once you're on set and be like, yeah, we looked at over 200 people. You're like, what? So yeah, obviously oversaturated, heavily saturated, however you want to put that. But the thing about it is, and you touched on it, Los Angeles has been in the film business since they were silent, since 1900 and something, 10, 12, whatever it is. So there's a culture, there's schools, there's colleges, there's just a life, Warner Brothers, Universal, everything's out there. So it's been a life. People have worked there and it's become part of the community. The infrastructure of LA, so to speak. Atlanta, coming into the party, quote unquote, late mid 2000s, 2007, Tyler Perry, you can really spark setting it off and people thinking like, I would say kind of like rappers, like, you know what, I think I'll act. I think I'll try that. So yeah, so now as I've been here since 2009, I've seen acting coaches, acting schools, things to help fortify people who are raw, have acting ability, have that desire, Sanya, but you're right, need some training. And I see Atlanta growing in that area, and filling, Atlanta actors, who've cut their teeth, beginning to fill a lot bigger roles and making their mark like so many actors in LA and New York have done. Yeah.
Got it. So to you, when did you decide that you wanted to be an actor?
It's a pretty great story. I fell into it kind of backwards. I was a football jock in college way back in 1980. Right. 80, what did he say? Right. He old, y'all. He old. And I was a football jock out of Dallas, Texas. Kansas State University, was failing miserably my first semester as a freshman. And that was partly due to partying, college life, and didn't realize like if you don't go to class, you're not gonna pass. This is not high school. So long story, to move the story along, after that first semester, I had like a 1 point something. And coaches let me know at that point, you have to stay eligible. Right. You have to have a certain GPA as you go from freshman to sophomore to play football. So, and he told me, and I remember my parents, big meeting, like the main thing Chris has to do is find something he can pass his second semester, get his GPA up. And I never will forget, Sanya, looking through, and I've told this story a bazillion times. It was January 1988. So I was on scholarship, so we got to do all our stuff quick. We didn't have to wait in line, advisors and all that. And I came back from Christmas break, and I'm looking through the registrar, and I came across the School of Journalism, broadcast journalism. And I saw like Media One, Radio One. That's where you saw theater, improv. And that's where it was. I was like, student will do these actions. They will have to learn this play. I was like, I can pass that. That's all we got to do. I can pass these. Theater One, Improv One, and Intro to Mass Communications. And from there, that's what I found. And I tell so many people, if you choose to go to college, whether you graduate, that's the goal, or you find out what you want to do. Yeah. And that's what I was done. Now, my career was more broadcast journalism. I was a sports anchor, disc jockey in St. Louis. And then I got the acting bug again. I was dabbling in acting, but got it again, or wanted to pursue it in 2007 and got into acting and moved to Atlanta in 2009. But yeah, just kind of fell into it and was like,
wow. Yeah. Wow. That's how you know that it was purpose driven, because when it works out, just when it happens last minute without any thought, that's when you know. But let me tell you how I fell into acting. I went to performing arts schools, and my very first role, I'm very proud of it. I played a lost boy in Peter Pan. What was your first acting gig?
My first one, very first one, I was in second grade. Then I'll get to more. My first one, I was in second grade. I played the Reno bellkeeper. And I think my second grade teacher was kind of trying to tell me something. I was a wild one, but that was the first thing. And even then, I didn't know that I wanted to act, but that was it. But more to your question, my first one, I was in a film, 9th Street, back in like 95, 96, with Kevin Wilmot. And he actually works with Spike Lee now, how things have changed and how people progress. But I played a train robber. It was called 9th Street, and it was set in the 60s, Kansas City. That street was pimps, players, a lot of action going on back there, a famed street in Kansas City. And they used to rob trains. So I had to brandish the pistol and jump off the train while it was moving. And yeah, but that was the first one of some merit that it's like, yeah, I want to continue to do this. Yeah.
Nice. So what was the next role that you landed where you said, okay, this feels a little bit like success?
Great question. That would be this is when I was in St. Louis, and I was a disc jockey in the mid-90s for Magic 108 FM. So acting things would come to me, being a personality. And I was with a talent agency there, but I got a role in the HBO film Soul of the Game that was shot in St. Louis, and it dealt with it had Delroy Lindo, Michael T. Williams, and Blair Underwood. And it was a story of Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, and those three, the story before what led up to Jackie being the first player. So it was all that stuff beforehand and how it all played out. I played a baseball player in that, and I'm gonna tell you, it was an HBO original. And when it came out and I saw myself, I was in the scene with Michael T. Williams. And all I said was, "Taxi!" Right. And then they went right by me, and I was like, "Mother, I am mom." Right. But it was like just the joy, the thrill. When I'd been on TV I was a sports anchor early on, but it was HBO. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, and I still didn't get into acting, until like another 8-10 years later when I moved. I, like I said, did some commercials, but that's where, but I remember that joy, you know what I mean? And remember shooting it like 6 months ago and like seeing how they configured it and how it all came together in editing. But yeah, so
wow. Wow. You have a very distinct voice. And as I was doing my research for you and I found out that you were in radio, I said, it makes sense. You have that Lenny Green type of sultry midnight Coke 45.
Venus flytrap.
Yes. So it definitely makes sense. But, acting really brought you in front of some great people because you were able to experience a role in Will Packer's hit film Little with Issa Rae and Regina Hall. Talk about that because I would have just said, I'm done after that. I made it.
A signature accomplishment. Shout out to Will Packer Productions, George Pierre, casting director, my talent agency, S.H.E talent agency. It was just great to be in that movie. Marsai Martin, I play her dad, obviously. She claimed fame being on Blackish as one of the twins. She wrote the movie, the screenplay, a prodigy. Everything you've heard about her or remember from that time, to meet with her parents are some great people. And it was just a wonderful experience. We shot it here in Atlanta. Got to meet Will Packer himself. And the whole, I can't remember the director's name, African-American female. God, I can't remember her name, but the experience, Sanya, was amazing. And to know, that this kid wrote this movie and it had Regina Hall and Issa Rae and some really big names in the film. And to be a part of that, see a success. I went out to the red carpet premiere. Actually, it was a blue carpet premiere. And that was the time I've done a lot of red carpets where I was the interviewer, but Talk to Entertainment Tonight, USA Today, all of that stuff. And even, my crush since I can remember has been Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. And I can't tell you, when I was all excited, I'm getting interviewed and they had my name, Christopher Martin, Jordan's dad, and I'm moving down the carpet and I'm texting my boys real time. And I looked up and Kelly Rowland was standing right next to me. I almost dropped my phone. I got goosebumps. You can't see. I was like, I have been in love. And I just went into it, Sanya, and I got a picture of her. She's got her hand on her chest like, boy, you just came with every emotion, but just a sweet, sweet individual. The whole movie experience, again, to have been on set, shot it. I played her dad, and you saved my voice. The people who again, found out it was about 300 of us, 300, 320, something in there. I can't remember. It was 3+ that they said that they had to choose from. And they said, it was your voice. He said, you sounded like a dad, like you cared. And I was like, there it is. So yeah, it's still playing. Love the residual checks from that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just a great experience. And very pleased, very fortunate to have been a part of that signature film.
Nice. Well, I know I'm probably like every family member or friends. Now that you mentioned that you got residual checks, give me $5.
Let me hold something, Chris.
Tomorrow, I'll pay you back when my income tax comes.
Right.
But then you're about to. I don't know if it's on Bounce TV now, but you are, Finding Happy.
Yes.
You play DJ Gravy. That name, you got to talk about that name. It stars B.Simone and Kim Coles. Talk about that, DJ Gravy.
Yeah, B.Simone. I'm sorry to cut you off. But yeah, Finding Happy. Pleased, excited. It's airing Saturdays. It will air tonight, 8:00. Bounce TV. You can catch it on the Brown Sugar app as well. But yeah, it stars B.Simone. Been a fan of hers, Wildin' Out. And, again, got picked. Shout out to George Pierre. George, for helping that situation, however it came to be. But play DJ Gravy. And again, he's a DJ at a radio station. So, Sanya, when I saw the audition, I was like,
this is mine.
We ain't got to roll the tape. You know what I mean? Had to, do the voice like we were at some spot, having a party, come on down, drinks, da-da-da-da-da-da. So get the part, shot my episodes, great cast. What I want to say about this one are so many African-American females who were in position of leadership and power. Kendra Joe, Yasmin Coleman, Angela Wells are co-creators with Cedric the Entertainer, along with Eric Rohn. And it was just a great experience to know that they created something, deals with 4 women, B.Simone being the kind of the leader of all that, main character. But Finding Happy, how she travels through Atlanta with her aspirations. I'm at the radio station where she's looking to find some happiness. And then she's got mother, aunt, friend who are navigating their own lives. And it's just a real, in the episodes that have aired so far, you see a sisterhood and some realness in these characters. Kim Coles, Marquita Patrice, Angela Gibbs are also in it along with B.Simone. Kim Coles, everybody knows who she is, a stalwart in the game. And it's kind of funny to see that she was living single with 4 African-American females, back in the day. And now her, being, she was young, figuring it out. And now she's an older actress in the game and that dynamic. But yeah, I play DJ Gravy at a radio station. Fun part, got some great lines, some comedy, love doing sitcoms, and just really glad to be a part of this story. Camille Brown, who directed my episodes, young African-American female, great director, let me have some freedom, you know what I mean? Played with the character, with all of us. And that's what you look for as an actor. And they said it throughout, there's a lot of Atlanta actors in these episodes. And they wanted new talent. They said that over and over. Some of you guys, we recognize that, you're new, but you got talent, and we're gonna put you in the show. So I think that energy of some people getting their first role or second role or a significant role adds to the energy of telling the story of Finding Happy.
Yeah, I get that it adds to the energy, but this is what my quandary is.
Okay.
So we see the emergence of this new and next generation of young actors. With the changing of the guards, are you kind of fearful that there will no longer be room for you? Or, we're people of a certain age, they're kind of ushering us out. Do you find that that's happening?
Not so much. I don't feel that way. And I'm being an athlete, competition has been bred in me. You know what I mean? I'm a 70s kid, not a millennial where, we get a medal for everything. So I'm used to, not winning or second place or having to deal with that kind of disappointment. But at the same time, feeding off that disappointment if I didn't, get first place or my team got third place, that drive, that competition, that desire to be better, to hone whatever skill that is, do whatever I need to do myself, look inward to ensure that, other people aren't booking more than me, or the new competition isn't moving me out. So people got to look internal. I tell a lot of actors, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And one of the things I've been able to hold it together. Some of the roles I get, are in the 30s. I've told a few people, a movie that I did, All That Matters. I was like, and this was when I was 48. This is 4 years ago. So I was like 48, and I was playing like a 35-year-old. And the young lady I played, who was playing my girlfriend, she was 28. So I was 20 years older than her. And we were talking on set, and and I said, man, I'm old enough to be your dad for real. He was like, what? You know what I mean? Just some stuff. He was like, boy, stop playing with her. I'm serious. And I showed her my ID. She was like, yeah. So drinking water and using a lot of cocoa butter.
I'm telling you, it works.
Right.
You mentioned that you did that when you were 48, and that was like 4 years ago. I'm like, he's in his 50s. I would have never guessed that. So yeah, you got the good black too. All right, holla.
Yeah, but yeah, to further with your question and wrap it up, it's one of those things too. As you move, I have seen different roles. Like, I am getting a few grandfather roles come through. Older, you know what I mean? Just let the gray beard do what it's supposed to do. Hopefully, the receding hairline isn't going too far back, and do what I do.
But I never thought about it that way, and I'm glad that you put a spin on it. We do come from a generation where we know how to go over challenges and obstacles, and we know how to come back after losses. And this generation is like, oh, you came in 8th place, Bobby. I'm still going to give you that trophy. So I'm glad that we really come with this armor of fortitude. So I'm glad that you really put a spin on that, because I never really thought about that. Just the generational strength that we come with. But recently, and I didn't even know that this happened. I was talking to my daughter last night, and who's 27, and she said, Mom, ask Christopher about the B.Simone scandal that just happened recently. And I said, okay, what happened? So my question is, do you know what happened with her?
How about when they asked her not to be on an episode of
So Danni Leigh is a music artist who was going to be on Wild 'N Out, and she said she didn't want to be on there if B.Simone was going to be on there.
Right.
So as an actor, let's say you have an ensemble and a guest says, I don't want to be on the next show if that actor is there. What would you do as an actor? Would you say the guest can't come on the show, or would you honor the guest request?
I would. Great question. I would see what the beef was, if I could get to the beef. But if it was something, that would be my first thing. And B.Simone didn't say if there was or anything. I saw some of the things. She was like, hey, she doesn't want me there, I'm gonna move on, which is really amazing in these day and times where you want a Twitter or beef or what
Right.
She just kind of stepped away, like, you don't want me there, I don't want you there. I would take her position. Like, if I was the person that somebody said, I don't want Christopher there, or I'm not going to do the show if Christopher's there. If I knew that there was something between us, like, I know however big or small somebody else may think, but I'd be like, you know what? If they don't want me there, it's bigger than me. I'll step back. Now, if I was the person who said, I don't want so-and-so there, that would, most people who know me be like, there must be something really going on. If Chris, because I'm a friendly person, I get along with everybody. I'm a Sagittarius, love all people. Everybody's my friend. So if I was the one saying like, hey, I don't want to be, people would be like, there's something to it, because that's just not in his character. I want to be around somebody. And would hope that that person would understand and not do that. Yeah, it would have to be something serious. But to be in B.Simone's shoes as that person, I think she set a great example of how, like, hey, whatever's going on between us, we know it, or the producers know it. I'm not going to get out here, hype it up, amp it up, and put it out there. It's one show, you know what I mean? And she's, I'm on Fine and Happy. I got this to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to let whatever this is deter me from where I'm really trying to get.
Yes, it was a perfect example of maturity, because when my daughter brought it to my attention, I said, well, I didn't even hear about it. So it lets me know that whatever happened, B.Simone didn't carry the narrative. She didn't add to the narrative.
Exactly.
She knew that, okay, there's a place for me and I'm okay with it. And she just exited stage left. So I was so happy, like when my daughter told me about it. And then now that you're adding more to, the narrative, it makes sense. It was the prime example of maturity. But speaking about ensembles, your circle of friends, your network, do they include actors, or are they people who you've grown up with?
Yeah, my circle is small. Pretty much a lone wolf. Have found out over years, like so many of us, like, yeah, we keep the tribe tighter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But most of the people I hang with are outside of acting. My true friends are not in the business. I've got really one. She's a female. Shout out to S.H.E Mac, very accomplished actress who does a lot of my self-tape auditions. A shameless plug for her. But yeah, her and a few guys. But most of the people that I'm friends with, high school buddies that I'm still very close with. My college football teammates are just like a brotherhood. 2 or 3 of those guys, but yeah, by and large, right out of the business with
nice. Has there ever been a time where anybody tried to sabotage your audition?
No. If they did, I don't know about it.
Because I've heard some stories, child, just like laxatives in the coffee.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Coffee. I've heard some.
Wait a minute, you're gonna have me checking everything now. Like, no, I'll get my own coffee. Don't bring it.
Yeah. I won't charge you for that lesson. Go ahead, you can take it.
Put me up on game. Put me up on game.
That's
but no,
what I'm here for, Christopher. That's why I'm here.
Nothing like that. That's what I'm saying. Such a people person. I think my approach, my attitude, friendliness, and realness have kept me afloat to not make enemies in this business or even frenemies. You know what I mean? People are with this social media now. Just it's wild.
It is.
And refrain from commenting on everything. I'm a human. I gotta check myself and make sure too. But yeah, I'm past. And to bring up B.Simone again, past beefing. Been past that for a long while, and most of the time, you got to weigh this for yourself. But sometimes, not most of the time, but sometimes you just be like, man, you can have it.
Right.
You can have it. You can have it. Yeah.
Let go. Let
it
go.
For your own peace and your own serenity and your own sanity. The wife said, don't be a pushover, but sometimes you just gotta be like, man, you can have it.
Yeah, so true. But you're also getting us ready for the holidays. Christmas is quickly approaching, and we're going to see you again on BET. Ooh.
La 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 la. I can talk to you all day. Let's keep it going. Let's go.
talk about this new BET film, because Christmas is my favorite season of all time. And now that I know that I have a new film that you're going to be in, tell us all about it, because I'm going to be there.
I love Christmas too. My birthday is December 20th, and that's part of the reason my name is Chris. Yeah, my parents
Oh,
for that reason brought me home. I came home Christmas Day, December 25th, 1969, from the hospital. First day out of the tree, Christmas Day by the tree. So, yeah, the movie is The Sound of Christmas. Another great project to be a part of. And it was great because when Finding Happy wrapped, I had found out about this movie, and literally the next week went right to set on it, which is an actor's dream of working to be working. But it's the classic Christmas movie. It's got Ne-Yo in it. Got the chance to meet with him, talk to him. Really cool cat. Serayah, a hot, super fantastic actress.
Yes.
And you may remember her from Empire, the young song.
Yeah. She's also in Diddy's new video.
Right.
She don't want my love. I gotta move on.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, she's everywhere. She's man, just a super young lady, great actress in her own right. And my lines or scenes are with her, so we have some fun. I play the choir director who got some sass, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Y'all, I need you, right, all of that. So it's The Sound of Christmas. It'll be coming out, I think, towards the end of November. Shot it earlier this year in Atlanta. And to be I've been a part of some BET productions, to be on that channel again, you know, pushing the agenda unapologetically for Black entertainment, Black movies, you know, actors and actresses. Just great to be, you know, in the mix, man, and keeping BET alive and running. And thank you to them again. So it's one of those, you know, something happens. They sing about it, they find the Holy Ghost, and everything works out at the end. It's a great singing, you know, Ne-Yo's in there, so he's in there blowing. And again, if you, like yourself, anybody who loves the Christmas movie, I mean, they're everywhere. BET, Lifetime, ABC, you know what I mean? They're everywhere. So if you really enjoy those movies, and I'm glad as an actor to finally be in one. It'll play all the time, and people will get to enjoy it for years and years to come. But I think it's something that the people will like. It was really fun shooting. Yeah, I'm sure.
What's your dream role?
Ooh, my dream role is I want to play a 007 smooth brother who, you know, shoots the gun cool.
Really?
You know what I mean? I want to be, Black Bond. Yeah. Black, something like, he doesn't have to be James, but just that guy. But I want to be, you know, even if I'm leather jacket, but I'm smooth, you know what I mean? That guy, Shaft, you know what I mean? Just right, gets the bad guys, but does it in a cool, hip, you know what I mean? Signature line. I don't know what it is, you know, like Eastwood had. Go ahead, make it like something, but just where it's like, yeah. That's my dream role.
As you were saying that, my daughter tells me, like, I'm just so over the top. I don't know what goes on up here, but as you were talking about your dream role and you being the CIA agent, I had a whole film going on in my head where you were the CIA. No, this is true. All of this was going on in my head as you were talking.
Talk to me.
You were the CIA agent, right? Walking down the street, and I was the pimp talking to my hoes. I wear my money.
Wait a minute. You got this part down. You got the cigarette part down. Let me say this. Okay, right. You got the pimp roll down. Get her. Next character. We got the pimp.
That's the role I want. That's the role.
Wear my money, girl.
And her name is Betty.
Betty. Yeah.
So what else do you have coming up? Don't laugh at me, Christopher.
Betty the Pimp. I love it. With that Virginia Slim dangling.
Yep. And all she wears is slippers and a house coat.
Okay. Yes,
Yep,
that's awesome.
that's what I'm going with.
That's what we're going with. All right.
What do you have coming up next?
Coming up next, I am going to be in an episode. I love these shows. Episode of Fatal Attraction comes on TV One. Playing a detective, like I said, one of the reasons I've done this show like 4 or 5 times. Been a detective is because my desire to be that black Bond. So it'll be coming out the first of the new year. So it's really great. These episodes. Finding Happier playing, now, got the movie coming, got an episode of Fatal Attraction coming in the new year. So it'll be on TV One. Again, catching bad guys. People know the show. It's a real life reenactment. And there's a faction of people who absolutely are addicted to those shows. I'll be in Atlanta. You are too? Killer Couple, all that stuff, man. I see people like, oh yeah, were you the detective in that one episode where they killed the lady and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yes. And like, I love Fatal Attraction. Oh my God. I was like, those stories are about death. But hey, if you're watching, we love it. And I'm sure the people in Knoxville, Jupiter Entertainment, Hive Entertainment do too. And outside of that, I'm a very accomplished host. I got to host a wedding tonight. So I'm an MC. We got about 5 of those on the calendar. Holiday parties, corporate engagements that I host. So I stay busy. I
hear that. Yeah, because I know that you're really hot on the Atlanta scene hosting silent parties. You do your acting, you're amazing at that. But this is something I was like, people need to know. They see people on television, on films, and they think that that's all that they do.
Right.
You are booked and busy. The silent parties. I've never been to a silent party. Who made you do that?
Oh, you need to get to one. In business with silence activations, silent headphone company, and the silent party. For those who may not know, you have the 3 stations of music. You got 3 switches on the headphone that allow you to listen to, you can have hip hop, classic rock, EDM, you know what I mean? You can have those kinds so people can go through. You need to go to one, especially a person like people like us who were raised on the Sony Walkman, Discman, the headphones. You can also use them for yoga, fitness, seminars, you know what I mean? They have headset mics. It's just a different experience to enjoy music. And also, the things like yoga and that stuff where it's in your ear, it makes the experience even that more intense, more insular. And, we're just doing great things. I was actually last week in Orlando for a 3-day conference with Google. They used the headphones for a display they had, and they also used them for, I don't know if you remember, Google was one of the first company, if not the first company, to have like the ping pong table at work, and you could get massages on your break, and vegan food, juice, just made it all that. So they used the headphones. They're taking it a step further, where you have meditative stuff going on in your ear. That was, they used our headphones while you're getting the massage. So they looked to take that experience a step further. Learned a lot. Google, all those young minds, you know what I mean? I used to get questions like, hey, how do you turn the volume up? What does this button do? No. So the chip inside of these, is it a so-and-so modulator? Blah, blah, blah. I was like,
do it too much.
So my business partners, I was like, man, we need to do some more research because these people asking questions I ain't heard. Like, just put it on and listen.
Nice.
The silent parties are amazing. If you can get to one, we're in New York. There's a lot of parties thrown. When you go to one, you're going to be sold. You're going to be sold.
Yeah. I told myself I want to experience one. I'm just very, I'm the type of learner, visual, auditory, kinesthetic with my hands. And I'm just fearful. So if I'm listening to hip hop, right? Yeah. The person next to me can be listening to, let's say, classical music. I'm going to be watching them like I'm dancing like this.
Right.
Like this.
Exactly. That's what it is. You're right. You'll be seeing people, but right, you'll be over there grooving, and then you'll see like all the greens going on. You'll be like,
Right.
Oh snap! That's what they jam into. Right. Then if you got some live DJs, we call it the Battle of the Silence. So you might have 70s, 80s, 90s, or
Oh.
classic hip hop, 90s hip hop, Atlanta hip hop. Where they're battling back and forth. It's colleges, schools. Everybody's finding out about it. So we feel really blessed. And like you said, something outside of the acting. Even the most successful actors, all of them got different business ventures. They're into liquor. Look at Kevin Hart. Look at The Rock. Look at any of them. You know what I mean? Brad Pitt. He's got his own production company. And that's with anybody most of the time. Like whatever you do to make your money or your way of life, you got to have hobbies. You got to have other stuff. You know what I mean? Especially if you got all this money, like invest it, do something with it.
Yes.
And
call it having a diversified portfolio.
Right.
Diversified portfolio. Everyone must have one. You can't just do one thing.
Right.
And expect to create this generational wealth that everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
That is an important ingredient. Diversified portfolio. Well, Christopher, it's been an amazing conversation with you. I was a little bit, it's really storming here, so my energy was kind of low, but you picked it right up. I'm about to go jogging now.
Just singing in the rain. Just singing in the rain. Well, I appreciate that. As I was kind of alluding to about my personality, energy, fun, smile on your face. Let's find the half full instead of the half empty. Let's make lemonade out of these lemons.
Yes.
And try to everything. I've always been like this, but here in the last 4 or 5 years, with everything that's going on in the world, what we see, like good cheer, compassion, friendliness, and love is something I really try to exude more and more, and try to emit that. And put that out in the people and interactions I have throughout my life. Yeah.
Well, you understood the assignment. You definitely understood the assignment. Thank you, because I always want to make sure, just like you, with every conversation, people just walk away saying, okay, I learned something and I smiled and laughed along the way. So we both understood the assignment. Keep on moisturizing.
Cocoa butter stick.
Keep being you, because your energy is just infectious and it's amazing. It has been an absolute honor and a joy having this conversation with you. One more thing, because after we just made people smile and laugh and learn something, how can they continue to follow you?
Oh, yes. In this day and age of social media,
right?
It's simple. C Martin ATLP. That's my Instagram and Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook, the ATL Fashion Plate, and get to my website, thefashionplate.webs.com.
Got it. Wait, I do have one more question. I was going to ask you this earlier. What's the meaning behind the fashion plate? You told us the meaning behind Christopher. What's the fashion plate? Because I see you with Ralph Lauren on there trying to stunt. I see you.
Right. He just says like, oh, I can put what I want in there. Right. Love clothes. Been a fashion hound since I was in 7th grade. Best dressed in high school. And when I went to college, back to college, I didn't know. I wore, pants, shirt to high school every day. I didn't wear jeans. I was dressed. Loved to dress up, so to speak. So I carried that into college as a football player. But when I got there, I'm seeing, all the jocks, they wore sweats, jeans, but I'm putting on a pair of Gennaras or a pair of Union Bay and shirt button to the top, backpack, moving. And some of the older guys start, teasing me and be like, man, why you go to school all dressed up? Like, man, what are you, a fashion plate or something? So that's where it started. They started calling me Fashion Plate, the football team. And then years later, when I got to radio, I don't know, 10, 12 years later, picked it back up, and we've been Christopher Martin, the Fashion Plate.
I got it. So Christopher, who's bringing gifts on Christmas and serving fashion on a plate. Okay, now.
Wait a minute. Cut the tape. Let me get that. I need that part right there.
You can borrow that again. I ain't gonna charge it, but the third one, I'm gonna charge you. Okay?
I got that from Betty.
All right, Betty gotta go right now. Okay.
All right.
because I got to
Thank
make
you so
sure
much.
that my other hoes on the street bring me my money. Take care, Christopher. Bye-bye.
Love you. Thank you, Sanya. Mwah.
Bye-bye. There you have it. Amazing conversation with Christopher Martin. Let me tell you something. True story. I was a little bit skeptical about today's conversation because it's been a long week. I didn't do half of the research that I typically do, but today's conversation, I said, child, just let it flow. Let it flow. And I'm glad that I trusted myself, because it's not about me. It's just about giving you the conversations that you need to hear. So make sure that you check out Christopher Martin. Like I said, he is starring in an all new show on Bounce TV. Very great content, everything on Bounce TV. He is starring opposite B.Simone and actor and comedian Kim Coles. He will also be starring in an upcoming BET Christmas movie starring Ne-Yo and Serayah. So make sure that you check out all of his projects. Go to his Instagram, go to his website, and continue to follow and continue to support. So make sure that you also subscribe to Sanya On-Air. Let's just keep dope content going and going and going so that we can take over the world. This has been another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smooches, dolls. Bye-bye.